episode 135. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We have Ultimate Spider-Man, we have Ultimate Black Panther, and we have The Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. Let's check them out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. Doing a budget right now for a client. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I got my hair cut, and it's kind of boofy today. Anyway, I just got back from Gen Con. That is the convention that's like basically the San Diego Comic-Con for board games. And we got to play test and demo with the new game that we have, which is Myth Lords, Classic Monsters. Everybody really liked it. I was pretty excited about some of the games we played. And the figures, one of the guys there even painted them for me. So there's the Dracula. Obviously, they don't come painted. They're only given the STLs. But there's the Wolfman. I think that looks pretty good. And here's the Frankenstein. And then the other one we'll be talking about today, the Creature. Yeah, I think they all came out really good. So I think everybody's going to be really excited and happy about how these came out. But anyway, we are going to be launching. I got to move back to. So I had met with a marketing guy, and he's like, "You got to be stupid for not running this during Halloween." So we're moving it to Halloween or October. Anyway, check out the link below in the description. You'll be able to sign up and get notifications. We hit over 300 people this past weekend, so excited stuff there. Also, remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and if you can't subscribe, please do. And let's jump into Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't collect any other Spider-Man books. This is the only one. Although I've heard that the regular one by I don't buy anything by Zeb Wells. He's not good, and that's why when I saw his name as one of the writers for Deadpool and Wolverine, I was like, ooh, I hope he doesn't have a whole lot of input, because he also was one of the writers on She-Hulk. Yeah, he's not good, man. I don't know why he keeps getting work. But anyway, so this is the story of Peter Parker. He's got, in an alternate universe, he has a family here with MJ, and he has a son and a daughter, but he has never been given the powers because the Maker, which is the evil Mr. Fantastic, decided there was going to be no heroes. So he never got bit, and Tony Stark sent over from an adjoining universe or whatever, sent him over a suit and the spider in a test tube, which I hope it didn't die from lack of oxygen in the test tube. But anyway, he ended up biting him, and so now he has his powers way later in life. He's hooked up with Harry Osborn, who has, gotten Stark tech and was able to manipulate Peter's mask and take it down. So now they're friends and they know each other. They know their secret identities, etc. And now we're jumping into this. They just fought the Kingpin and lost. So basically, Green Goblin's a good guy in this, but you can see that that's Dr. Otto Octavius, which is Doc Ock, but he doesn't have his powers, so he's working for Osborn. And right now, of course, Osborn is not crazy or doesn't have any of the super soldier serum or anything like that, goblin serum or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so and Peter has everybody's got to have a mustache. I don't know nowadays. He's sitting there with them. I don't even know if he's even a scientist, because he doesn't really say any scientisty things, or scientific things, I should say. But anyway, Octavius is trying to unlock the AI in their suits to make them more efficient in fighting, because they lost their last battle, so now they're trying to basically do an upgrade. Meanwhile, Gwen Stacy is married to Osborn, and there's MJ, and I guess they're trying to go in business together because Gwen Stacy's rich now too. So it's kind of like the two rich people dealing with the middle class who are trying to, up their station a little bit. Then you have J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker, who is alive. May Parker is dead in this one, so it's the opposite. But they ended up leaving the Daily Bugle, and now they have Robbie, who's their inside guy, and is feeding them information because they're refusing to run certain things because of their sponsors, etc. And I have no idea who this guy is. He speaks French. That's kind of all I know. But he ends up meeting with the Kingpin, and they're plotting some stuff here, etc. They look like bullseye warriors. I don't know. They have bullseye symbols on them. I'm not really sure. So now we jump back to they're basically fighting and sparring with one another. The artwork is really good in here. I like the way that Spider-Man is drawn. I like the imagery of him being reflected in there. The electricity just means that they're turning on the AI, and that's how that looks. But anyway, so now they're fighting with the AI, and he's doing a lot better against Spider-Man now than he originally did. Remember that Spider-Man has had very little training because he didn't grow up as a teenager with the powers. So, yeah, so he gets a good shot in there, and then Green Goblin ends up, shooting him with blast, but then he gets a good shot in and knocks him through the window. And we're like, don't shoot me through the window. Lucky he has his healing factor. But then a portal opens up, and Tony Stark comes through, and he's like, so, tell me, are you a hero yet? Not really. We're working on it. Anyway, not a great issue, but it's still pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I almost dropped it because we really didn't see Spider-Man in like 2 issues. And you can't do that, man. You have to, you got to have the main character in your book every issue. I don't care about story, character building. That's not, you still have to do it. It's still a serial, chapterized story. You have to have your main character in it, period. So anyway, right after that, they ended up bringing all this stuff back, so I was okay with it. I like this. I think it would make a good movie because it's a different origin story than what we're normally seeing, and it might be a good time to try to reboot Spider-Man in a different way. Just saying. All right, so Ultimate Black Panther. This is number 7 or 6. This is number 6. I told myself if by 6 nothing happened and I wasn't intrigued anymore, I was going to drop it. So this is a dropped book for me. This is by Brian Hill, I think. Yeah. He just did that Blade series. Same thing with Blade. He starts out good and then he just goes chug, 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 chug. And then the end, he just throws it in there because he's like, oh, I'm out of time. I got to throw something in. It's not good. I mean, the artwork is good. I like the look and feel of it. But by 6, if you haven't told at least a B story wrap up by now, you're just chugging too slow. So anyway, they have this thing where they bought, the vibranium came from another planet or whatever, a meteor, and now there is also a thing that's like nature. It like it affects nature and growth and stuff like that. So they're saying, oh, there was sister things that fell. I'm like, what does nature and that have to do with metal? It makes no sense. I don't know where he's going. But anyway, we start out in this, I guess, African village where people are dying or whatever else. And Khonshu, which is Ra and Khonshu, I guess they're supposed to be 2 versions of Moon Knight, but they're the bad guys here. And I guess they have the power to heal based on that thing that they just got. And they're trying out their powers, but they have these warriors. It's kind of like that same thing we saw with the warriors of Bullseye there. But yeah, so we see them growing stuff or whatever. I don't know. This doesn't even feel like a Black Panther story. And why is this ultimate when he looks exactly the same except that he's with, I forgot her name, Kanyoe or whatever her name is from the movie, and he doesn't know who to trust because they still have not unveiled the traitor and the myths, and now we have Storm and the villain from the original Black Panther, Killmonger. And I guess they're together, they're having an affair, even though there was a prophecy that he's going to have a child with Storm, even though he's with Kenyone there, whatever you say her name. But anyway, there's the Ra and the Khonshu guys, and there's the piece of the orb that they stole that's allowing them to have those kind of powers. And they send into a base. They send in their guys that are like suicide guys, and that's why you see him jumping there with a thing on his chest. Everything blows up, etc. And then Black Panther shows up and says, "You're no longer welcome here." And I don't like the cutout in the mask either. It doesn't look like Black Panther anymore. So anyway, there's a big explosion. He gets, blown off a little bit, and then he's going to fight Khonshu, and he gets a good kick in there. Whoop-ah! That's exactly what he said. And then Khonshu's like, all right, I'm out of here. We'll go to war. That's it. There's just nothing to this book. There's nothing to it. So I will be dropping that now, and I will be moving on to something else. So make a good movie? No, this is bad. This is bad. So it just doesn't even work. None of it works. All right, let's jump into the creature from the Black Lagoon that lives, not dies, they lives. So this was about, I didn't realize this at the time, but this is years later after the movie. And remember, we got the little finger. And that was Wicked Witch. But anyway, so the creature in the Black Lagoon is in a lagoon where one of the original guys is there from the movie, and he is trying to find him and try to kill the creature. Meanwhile, there's a woman who's like a reporter or something, and she's trying to go after this serial killer that is there. And the serial killer has aligned himself with the cartel there. Except when the girl was there and tried to go after him, she ended up getting seen and tried to flee and ended up in the water. So he is, protecting her and ends up killing all the cartel guys, and he cuts off the leader's head with his claws. So that's where we're going to start. We start with the cartel and his brother. He's literally holding his brother's head, which is severed by the creature, but he doesn't know that. Meanwhile, the rest of the group is trying to find her because she has been taken hostage by the serial killer, who somehow found a dead creature, I don't know, and started grafting pieces of it to him. I don't really understand where the pieces came from. And he also has a thing on the back of his head. How did he sew the back of his head? I have no idea. And the artwork is okay. It's a little bit too stylized for me. But there's the guy, that's the professor there, the doctor, and his local guy. I don't know if they're in Venezuela or not. I think they're somewhere in Central America. So there's the creature going into the cave, and he's like, oh my God, I finally found him. Meanwhile, the other guy's wounded. He's like, you're going to leave me here? I'm all wounded. He's like, I gotta. So meanwhile, she is still confronting him, and he's like, I'm going to make you like me. I don't know where he's going to get all these pieces, but okay. So the professor finally has the creature in his line of sight. He's about to pull the trigger, but nope. The cartel is behind him with the muzzle of a gun, and he's like, I almost got it. I almost got you. But instead he gets shot, and this gives him pause. So he tries to go and find out what was going on. Meanwhile, the cartel is coming in, and there's the evidence that they blew his brains out. And they're going into the cave. Meanwhile, she is getting herself out. And now he was alerted to the cartel coming to kill him because, of course, they think it's him, the serial killer, that killed the... I think he did kill somebody, though. So it wasn't like he was completely innocent there. But he didn't cut the head off. But anyway, he drops down and starts fighting them, but we don't see any of that. It's all off camera because I guess they ran out of time. She gets to the mouth of the cave and sees a member of her party there wounded and sees all the dead bodies because she leaves in there too. That guy's just having a bad day. So she struggles with that. The gunshot goes off, which alerts the creature. I don't even know why they put the cartel in it. They did absolutely nothing in this entire issue besides get killed. That's it. So the creature is now going to protect her and slashes him, breaks his arm in half, all that good stuff. He's like, ow, that hurt. I don't think I'm going to be getting up anytime soon. Medic! So anyway, since he's on the ground, that gives her the opportunity to go in there and bash his brains in. And he's like, stop, stop, stop. And she's like, I'm sorry, I had to. I don't understand why she has to explain herself to the creature when the creature just killed a crap load of people in the previous issue. So anyway, he turns his back on her and leaves. I guess he goes back into the water. And then she finally goes out to tend to the other guy. Poor guy's been sitting there all night. And then the creature from Lagoon gets in the water, and it says the end, and that's it. So this was by Ram V. And Dan Waters. And will this make a good movie? Absolutely not. This was really bad. Really bad. Let's do a recap because, yeah, they could have done so much with the creature from the Black Lagoon, and this is what they came up with? A cartel and a serial killer? I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so they could have gone into the lore. They didn't go into anything. They just let the ball just drop, dink, dink. It was bad. So, yeah, we're going to forget that ever happened. Black Panther, I'm dropping this. I'm through with this lame story. And then we have Spider-Man, and yeah, I like Spider-Man. I think this would actually make a good movie. And we're on to episode 7 or issue 7 already. And I really wish this one would have some kind of a story kind of wrap up. They used to write for the trades. And then the trades were 6 issues, so at least we'd have stories kind of wrapping up every 6 issues. We don't even get that anymore. They just keep going and going and going. If like they have one writer on it for 5 years, we won't even see the story wrap up for 5 years. You know, like Tom Taylor was notorious for that, where he was with Nightwing, and he literally had a serial killer named Heartless who was taking out people's hearts, and Nightwing never caught him. For like years and years, he just let him go. It's like, I'll get with him eventually. I really wish they'd go back to writing for the trade so we could get, it used to be that we could get an entire story in one issue. Now we can't get an entire story for 5 years. It's a soap opera with no ending. So it's a little frustrating sometimes when you'd like to get a new storyline because the storyline is just dragging. You don't want to drop the book, but you're tired of the storyline. So I really wish they would kind of get back with the program here. But anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys are reading as well. And on top of that, I don't do these things just for comic book readers. I do them for people that are not, so that you can kind of keep up to date about what Marvel and DC is doing. Because, it is a possibility that you could see this version of Spider-Man sometime in the future. So who knows what they're going to do with Secret Wars and all that stuff. So yeah, I make these videos for people who are collecting, people who aren't. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. And on top of that, if you can give me a like, give me a thumbs up. If you can subscribe, please too. I'm trying to raise the subscribers on the channel. So if you could ring that bell, ding, ding, that would be awesome. And also remember that the link below has the link to sign up for Mythlords Classic Monsters card game. I turned it the wrong way. And this is the back of it. But yeah, plenty of stuff in here for everyone. And the game's not hard. I was teaching it like in 10 minutes. It's a deck builder. All right, I will see you guys on the next one. And check out some of my other videos. And have a great week, guys. And tomorrow's comic book day, so looking forward to that. All right, bye-bye.